Hello? What the hell?
That question I can answer. Bazaar is hell. And I'm hoping to leave it behind with another iceberg video. It was sitting 2+ months, and it was just dying in front of my eyes every step of the way. It is time to discuss how many more things there are about Bazaar that is absolutely a big problem that will probably never get solved, because why should it be solved, right? Why should a game be fun? Let's make a game competitive instead, right? Let's make a game absolute grind, absolute torture, where I can't even get a fucking chest unless I get 4 wins. And that's fucking difficult to do. If you do calculations, 4 wins happens only 10% at a time. For some reason, alright? Unless you do a specific build that everyone else is doing, then are you really playing the game? Because if you have to choose between playing the game and doing well in the game, if you have to choose between two, that's not a good experience, okay? If you have to choose between being competitive or having fun in the game, you're doing something wrong. I got 3 likes. Can we break the record of 3 likes? I would prefer. So I'll have my new tier list. I'll refer to the old one to make sure that I have everything in check. So I have all of this that I have to actually put together. Crip is no longer saving grace. Lawsuit is no longer saving grace. I don't respect these 2 things anymore. So that falls apart. I think Crip is definitely part of the problem now. And F no longer means saving grace is all I'm saying. So that checks out. Let's go into the E tier. We're gonna do a recap, but I will do a pretty big input overall, right? 8 years to make these horny characters. Not really a problem when you disable voice lines, so I forgot about that entirely. Lifesteal. Yep, that's a problem. In fact, it's a big-ass problem because it's Crow's Nest. Crow's Nest, unfortunately, is S tier! Holy fucking Jesus. I did not know that this was going to be S tier problem. What else is S tier problem? Vanessa. S tier. Oh, what? Just a class? A particular class? Why is it a problem? It's obvious. You just combine these 2 things together, it becomes a problem. It's pretty obvious why Asians don't haunt ghosts.
The hell?
Electrician will come and fix everything.
Week, the hell?
You know, Asian thinks that he can fix everything. Alright? That we can fix this. But at some point, things become Australian instead, and Bazaar is no longer fixable the way it is. Repetitive. Absolutely. So, one big argument that I was yapping on my videos, on a previous video, if you don't like combat or bust, basically. Alright? I hope you like the combat sequence that happens, because you only get 2 of these, and plus some random encounters, which are terrible, because it's random. It's crazy how fucking random this is. Random! Alright. The worst part of that's being random is the most reliable one, right? The thing you actually have to gamble for is experience. So there's no reason to actually not gamble, because not gambling puts you below average. If you want to get 10 wins, you have to go above average. So you have to gamble and gamble and gamble until you get those 10 wins. But getting 10 wins is also not fucking feasible unless you're willing to break the game. Break the game for 10 wins the Cripperian way. Alright, the thing that Kriparian is actually teaching us all to do. Like, my mind is blown how bad this game actually is. I don't know if all of these are S tier, but they seem to be S tier because this is a mind prison. This is the thing that you're gonna see in your prison as the biggest ghost. This is just the way the game is being built. Everything is fucking random, and you don't even know whether to gamble or try to be slightly above average is a good idea. Or should you just spam Vanessa and just give up, you know? And then you break the game. I think that's a B. No, it's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. Because there's only two ways, as I've said, is to break the game, plus burn builds, basically. So it's burn, bonk, or loop. If you don't achieve these things, you're not playing it correctly, guys. You're not doing it correctly. You have to get good items that also charge other items. Alright? Charge other good charge items. Yep. Otherwise, you're not scaling your build. You're not doing anything. Yeah, potentially that's why Pepper build was good and still was not good enough, and then someone still breaks you in half. Past day 10. Insanity. Like, these are actually excruciating pain problems. It's the worst feeling ever that I accumulated. Like, I don't know if I can keep going anymore. I think ICEBERG is my greatest thing about BAZAAR, and I should just leave it and help it collect views at this point. Because it's so painful right now. 8 years to make this garbage. Lack of content. Lack of content is just absolutely appalling problem that could fix a lot of things, but hey, we have lack of content. There's not a lot of shit to choose from or to do with your money. Like, nothing, alright? We sort of have resources, but we sort of have nothing. Like, everything is trash. Everything is trash. You're not gonna pick any item that does not synergize with your builds. Everything else is just trash. Alright, cool. I guess I don't care then. Like, I watch Crip just skip every single vendor, which is, he's living the meme. He's skip Crip now. Everything is trash. Alright, so, what else do we have here? Opening options, Ludin's cringe. Okay, they are fixing all these, like, low-tier problems, it feels like. I don't think loot is cringe anymore. It seems to be pretty nice. Mystery power level. There's this, the off-the-cliff feeling that the moment you are losing, you're gonna be losing forever. And you actually go off the cliff very fast when you're in combat as well. You're like, oh, I'm gonna lose this one. Sometimes you get surprised, which is very nice. But often you can see that an opponent is doing something really stupid that you did not pull off, unfortunately. Power creep. I've noticed power creep, it's now no longer as relevant. Until I notice, well, yeah, there's charging items, right? Charge items. Charge items. And then there's the bonk, I guess. Bonk items that kind of allow this metagame to be just that. Loop and bonk. Freeze doesn't matter anymore. Even if I had freeze, it doesn't matter anymore. Didn't I had freeze? Okay, I guess I didn't. Nobody cared by that moment. And I have to put burn as well. Burn, poison. In one category. I hate both of them, basically. I just kind of hate everything about the game. Like, there's not a single fucking redeeming quality. Everything together besides the convenience. Convenience of press play. But even that is actually doesn't feel good because you don't actually get a good experience out of press play anymore. Random items, bullshit mobs. Are mobs still bullshit? I don't know. Yeah, you would do shield builds, not because you're gonna be better than other players, but you have to defeat every single mob that you come across. And if you don't defeat a mob, gets defeated by a mob, feels ass. Alright? It's a terrible feeling, unfortunately. It's close to off a cliff. Because off a cliff is just encompasses everything, that like everything slips through your hands. But if you don't actually defeat mobs, and again, guess what happens when you do defeat mobs? Get random. Yeah, you did it. You get random. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but Reynad actually has random as his health condition. He should check for a fucking doctor at this point. He should seek professional help. That probably does not exist right now, but he should still seek it. He probably has enough money to, create a randomness foundation of some kind. Randomness as a cancer foundation. Like, this guy has to fucking save himself from the shit that he fucking created. There's certain things that have to be actually fair. And it's very difficult to make, like, random encounter and random rewards a fair mechanic. That sounds just like absolute insanity, bro. You should be able to, like, it's a bazaar, right? So you should just be able to buy the thing that you want from the mob and then make it a balanced choice overall of, like, what people would buy, right? If people prefer something way too much, then you nerf that shit. But unfortunately, giving a completely random rewards for defeating a mob sounds like way too much fucking random at this point. This is probably like, it actually is an insult to card games. Alright? Insult to card games. Why? Is because card games are not fundamentally fucking random. Alright? Yes, it starts pretty random because you don't have your 1-drop, you don't have the 2-drop, you don't have the 3-drop, you have the arena highlight of I have no 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and I lose, and now it's a 0-3 police. We had good time with Crip. Back in my day, we had good fucking time. Right now we have insult to card games time. Of just random. Forever random, and searching for a specific item type of random, to where Criparian has to actually complain of, I can't find this item anymore. Where? Are you playing with Lego Criparian? What happened? How do you degenerate it so fast to where your favorite game is where you cry about not finding a fucking piece of a puzzle, basically? It's like fucking crazy, dude. Shit has evolved, bro. Past this iceberg that I've made. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I hope that's it. Is that it? Because there's not a lot of content to talk about. We're actually, like, very fortunate. Important core is no longer that relevant to me. Too much shit is happening on the screen. I will say it's a pretty big problem. Too much shit happening. Why is it a big problem? The problem is, you keep buying and stacking effects, and you keep cramming into your stupid build as many things as possible. To the point where things don't make sense, because past day it's insanity, but, like, one way to describe this as insanity is too much shit happening. You queue in for combat and it's just like vomit everywhere. You cannot actually react to your opponent beforehand. You have to just react to shit happening on the screen right after, and hopefully you can make sense of that. All right? Make sense. Most of the time you can, but it's just like, it's ugly. It's absolutely ugly, dude. The way the game actually functions in combat, in particular, that's very specific for combat. However, zero interaction. The only interaction you get is to see players' rank and class and amount of wins. All the useless garbage, you know? Not what player decides to win with, what item is generating the most damage and the most armor. Nah, let's not fucking give a fuck about that. You know, let's not reveal all the secrets that you could actually play around. Let's not give players ability to play the fucking game. So zero interaction with your opponent. Again, it's either you either like the combat for some fucking stupid reason. I don't know why would you do that. Maybe you like looking at other people's builds. If they're not Vanessa, you're like, wow, let me look at every single skill that they have. That's very interesting. I will copy and paste that behavior. If it defeated me, or defeated your cool builds, you try to recreate it or recreate a Lego build. I don't know, man. You must have a very weird obsession if you can actually enjoy combat of this game. I don't know, man. This was day one. I saw the game day one. I'm like, fucking combat sucks, bro. Like, what the hell is going on? Alright. I will say variety. Variety's a problem. Yeah, there's poison burn. Oh, it's just basic shit, you know? But it feels like it actually lacks variety. Even though there's too much shit happening on the stream, I don't have a strong opinion on this. But all we do is just throw weapons at each other. All we do is mostly deal damage. Like we were teased to actually feed the player to defeat the player with food. That was something. I mean, that was a little bit exciting for a moment. In fact, a lot of features were stripped away, and I will never forget that. Stripped away a game. 3 years ago, it was pretty reasonable. It could have been released right after. But, uh-oh. I guess someone pitched in some new cool ideas. Where do I put monetization? Doesn't even matter. It doesn't even fucking matter, dude. That's the cherry on top, usually, for these people. When the game is already ugly. But that's how you have to look at it, you know? It's not... Like, people do actually mention, if the game is good enough, and I like the game, and I will play it, and whatever. It's like, yeah, it's your choice, but... Oh, boy. Balance, obviously. Just overall balance is always going to be a terrible thing. One of the worst things, I think, A tier for sure. Nonsense skills. Skills are so terrible in this game. Either you cannot have it, you look at it and it's like, oh, I can't have that skill. So basically it cancels itself out, which should never happen in a video game. Nothing should just cancel itself out. It should always be an appealing twist choice that you could take, and it could actually enrich your build. You might have to do something, though, in exchange. You might have to buy extra 2 aquatic items or something. You might have to start buying more items in general, or like more small items. But when a skill says you have to have 5 items or less, or you have to have 7 items or more, or you have to perform freezing into someone's rectum to get 10 damage on your adjacent weapons, adjacent large weapons, who happen to be also vehicles and aquatic. I mean, at some point, there's so many filters on a fucking skill that I lose my fucking mind reading that shit and not being able to use it ever. Just useless skills, bro. Everything is trash eventually, I would say. Not immediately. Now, pufferfish kind of calmed down out of the metagame, so I'm just looking at this thing. Oh, like this being spammed alongside with flagship to some extent. Any multicast weapon that sort of has a bonus on top of being multicast, of course, it's gonna be stacked as one weapon basically, right? One weapon Vanessa. One weapon in general is a problem. Of like, is your weapon that fucking good? Then it's less things happening on the screen. Sometimes it's too much shit happening. Sometimes it's too little. Because the opponent is playing one weapon. And it's like, you know, you're gonna get bonked in like 10 seconds and over. It's over, dude. Wow, so it just literally kills the combat, essentially. Alright, cool. Zero interaction, zero counterplay is how you have to look at it, right? If you saw what your opponent is up to, oh my god, the possibilities are endless. You might be able to have 10% chance to buy a specific item to counter their strategy. That's crazy, dude. That's too much to ask. You still cannot like shift your build entirely to just counter your opponent. Like that's never gonna happen. But you can at least nudge it. And we're not getting that. We're not getting any interaction and counterplay. It's a C. It's disgusting. It's another thing that would potentially save the combat from feeling like something, you know? What else do we have? Because, yeah, this is pretty basic, and we evolved from this point. Don't I deserve like and subscribe? No, I don't. No, I don't deserve. Unless you don't want to watch BAZAAR content, because at some point I will not be able to make any BAZAAR content because it's the worst fucking game I've ever seen. But it's required investigation because people are interested in it, so I can use other people's interest in order to pump my interest into the game as well. It's a combined effort, guys, of eating poop off the floor. Scaling items, leveling up system. Is it bad anymore? Because things constantly evolve and change, not for the better, obviously. Why should it be better? Brain dead rewarded. That's a terrible thing to happen. Brain dead Lego builds. Ha ha ha. That's what people chase after, but they are still a very dominant meta thing. So people chase after brain dead Lego builds for a very simple reason. They need to grind rewards. Anything that incentivizes grind, and actually, I will actually put it, grind equals more shitty ghosts. But it's actually not a big problem. Because if I saw what people are up to, or I had a choice to counterplay, even choose between two opponents, all of a sudden, I can avoid shitty ghost. Guess what, you know? And the ghost that is being avoided the most should get nerfed, not just the one that wins the most. BAZAAR is about being hungry. I'll put it in, it's kind of cool. The relationship between BAZAAR and food is absolute weird. Let's call it mistreatment. Alright, because in BAZAAR, we all know BAZAAR to be just, you go to a Indian place of any kind, it all looks like trash anyways, and the random people are selling random shit, which usually is food. Yes, you will get food poisoning and all that, but where's food in BAZAAR? We still eat just chocolate. We just eat gumballs. We can't even drink coffee, bro. Like, get me a fucking coffee, man. I think there is the teapot or whatever in the snake, in a horny snake location, which I try to avoid, but yeah, there's one food place. Congratulations, guys. And then the pig feeds you some like regen shield stuff. Like, it's crazy stuff that makes no sense to me. Of like, why isn't there food in Bazaar that make you stronger, at least temporarily? What are the temporary items in general? So many, well, there's a lot of lack of content. One lack of content could mean that they could have just leaned towards food and all of a sudden we have content, you know? We need to mix the temporary boost alongside with our build, and that would make the game a lot more interesting, where we are forced to get the temporary boost because they're so abundant and they make us like really strong, right? Imagine this calculation of like, this is your build and this is your temporary boost, and then you try to match other people's temporary boost. You can make your build really good. Your build can be better than mine, but temporary boost just like obliterates in the end, and I at least get the win, and I can always like lean on a temporary boost to like just like this. There's so many missing pieces because Reynad, unfortunately, pretends to be smart. Pretends to be smart, my friends. While I have been generating ideas my whole fucking life and nobody still nobody cares. Alright. Okay. So, temporary items is also under lack of content category. There's none. No temporary boost, which could have been the greatest game mechanic where I just like spend all my money on temporary boost. I just fucking become Super Saiyan for one fucking moment just to smash whoever is in my way. I don't give a fuck. You done, bro. You done. You done, Frieza. You done. You think I'm not gonna get the last 10th win? Get the fuck out of here. You become Super Saiyan. Like, come on, dude. This is so ridiculous. Like, in India, everyone is Super Saiyan, basically. Everyone is driving in motorbikes. It's crazy, dude. How can you disrespect the bazaar? Mountain pop. Oh, shit, bro. Mountain ass. I will definitely call it mountain ass. I don't have to say anything about it. It's just it encompasses the random, the mob element, the random again, the random rewards. Or you just get punished of like, here's 1 XP for you, my friends. Enjoy. Or you have to just pick the obvious option is get income, which is a sad option because the only thing you do is just clicking a button and getting more income. It's pretty fucking sad and unbalanced of an experience. It's so stupid, man. Of course, Reynad and his team is entering this game space that never been explored before, and he will spend 8 more years trying to fix everything. That's just how it goes, baby. Lifesteal, blah blah blah, mystery power level. That's annoying. That fucking catches you off guard. Mystery power level. Also, one of the craziest things, you get any opponent, any player opponent. If you are bronze player, you're gonna get super ultra giga diamond players. Because that's normal. That's just what happens, you know? There's some people who do research and they still have to get to wreck noobs even when they're not playing, when they're not looking. That is a tier problem. That just makes no fucking sense. This is the moment where you're like, you know, the game is screwed over. If I'm a bronze player, guess what I want to play against? Just wild guess, alright? Just give me a fucking wild guess of what I want to play against. I want to play against Vanessa Crow's Nest with 1 weapon. That's what I want to fucking do. Against every single grinder. But at least I can counter them if that's all I'm playing against. But nah, bro. I have to play against someone who paid to the game to get the greatest cosmetics of all time and has actually paid attention to the game, so they have the best Lego builds of all time that I can't fucking keep up with. It literally kills any single person who is trying to enjoy the game, who's trying to get the feeling of getting 10 wins. Get the feeling. That's the rarest thing, even for a skilled player, to getting 10. Are you kidding me, dude? Now, Crip is a fucking mystery, you know, he's a fucking unicorn. But he knows how to break the game, that's why he has 50% win rates of getting 10 wins. I can't believe it, though. I'll die trying to believe that. Unbelievable unicorn dust nonsense. But when you get good at breaking the game, of course, who cares, right? Ammo items. Ammo items. Yep. The fun thing about ammo items is there's like 3 reloads. That's it. Some ammo items actually reload themselves. And it got a little bit better since last time. But either way, it's either too strong, the ammo items are too strong, and you have to lean on them, or you just don't find the reload, and you have to bounce back, which is kind of weird. Again, it's one of those temporary items of, like, getting extra ammo. It's temporary. You could just, like, reload ammo items with money. Where's that? I don't understand. Like, literally, this is the best opportunity to use money to, like, get more grenades or get more of that other item. Like, how do we lose all these opportunities to do good content? I'm just one guy with ideas. There's a whole game studio out there sitting on their ass and leeching because they're starting to panic because, oh my god, there's too many haters. They're collapsing, bro. The empire of Reynad is no more. Tisk, okay. What else do we have? Less and less content. Oh, yes, of course. Large items are meta. So, the theme of Crow's Nest is that large items are meta. This is why I got scared of large items for Pokey. I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. Nah, this is large items? What is that? That seems like it takes too much of an inventory space. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not into it. That feels like this is the moment when you can actually do some stupid, wacky shit. And some of the large items do that. Like, if you only mainly do this specific thing, you can have this large item in your inventory, and it is gonna perform pretty well. Otherwise, if you're not doing that specific thing, uh-oh. But I don't know how gimmicky that is. That's from the top of my head. I just don't like large items in general. With force field comes to mind, bunker comes to mind. All these shitty just deal damage items. When it actually, like, reduces cooldown, like, there's some good ones and there's some bad ones. So I don't know how to feel about it. I just don't like when, like, the build solidifies and it's like 5 items. Wow, you're really creative with your builds. How did you do it? I mean, I saw Crip. I had to suffer through Crip with 1 item. He literally just proven that bonk is just the way of the game. Like, you just have 1 item in the inventory and that's it. Which was one of those scimitar scaling for pig. Some blade thing, I don't care. I don't actually have that much commentary to attack these large items. Maybe one day that will change back to normal. Skyscraper. If large item is useful or useless, if it's not balanced, that's when things get really ugly. So it's kind of like a balance theme going on here. Games get out of control. We're almost touching every single aspect. Except Reynad himself now. Because everyone is stupid. No one will forget that thing. Ah, here it is. Now, unfortunately, Reynad made a meme out of himself. And he's growing in value of suspicious behavior. Reynad even existing as a trustworthy person who is now, like, in power to do some weird shit. You know, adding these horny characters. Like, okay. I don't like this. I don't like this. This is the predatory creature, not the monetization. This is the Reynad theme. Monetization is just a Reynad theme. Of like, oh, oops, I guess I backstabbed you. Uh-oh, are you bleeding? Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are. I hope you like eating shit off the floor, too. Oh, wait, you don't play your own fucking game. Haha. It is hard to be competitive in your own game. I completely imagine that. Because, but you just have to make it good then. Good enough so you would want to play it yourself. That is the only problem that you have to solve. So, Reynad's saga of climbing this tier list is brilliant. It's a brilliant chess move. We had this before, and it was taken away from me. I will still complain that no big payoff for money. Having money in the game is not actually the most relevant thing, and that kind of just sucks. The only time when it is, it's like the cannon build, the cash cannon build. I can do that one. I like number go up, but it's still just a bonk moment. So I'm not inventing anything new with it. It's very difficult to invent something new when it's just like deal damage, win game situation. You don't get to know your opponent anymore. You get zero interaction. It's so terrible. It's such a disgrace. Oh my god. Last time is where spend money, please, guys. Send help. And the only thing they did is just take away money. You cannot earn as much money anymore. That surely is the solution to all our problems. I mean, it went from A tier to, like, a little bit lower, but we have so many problems that you don't see the colors of tiers anymore. That's the fun bit. Patches kill me inside. Patches, Reynad. Patches. Yes, we got the patches, but the patches don't feel like they do anything, so... womp womp. If you actually adopted the thing that everyone was screaming about in Hearthstone of like, whoa, where's the whoa moment when you receive 20 nerfs? That's the like, whoa, thank goodness it happened. Also, we get dust, but that's greedy players asking for dust. We'll get refund, Reynad, when our little pay-to-win items get nerfed? What's gonna happen? Oh, you can't nerf them, huh? Oh, shit, man. Monetization is a problem for patches. I like patches. It's the thing that actually makes the game viable to keep track of. Every now and then you can just play one game. Every 2 weeks, play a couple games. I mean, once a week you can play a game. Let's put it that way, right? Just to see what happens. But you definitely cannot play it often enough. And, I'm sorry guys, you're the problem too. Alright, sweaty gamers? This game is so bad that you are the problem now. You're the viewer who gives a fuck about being competitive. Little bitch. Just like in Hearthstone. You're the problem. You shouldn't care that much, unfortunately. When I say you have to play once a week, that's the average. The average between probably staying away from this game or investing just slightly more so you don't feel like a bronze player anymore. Alright? That's the average. Once a fucking week. I mean, the average between how much I'm playing right now, which I'm still bronze player, but like that's how bad the game is. Like I can't learn anything. I can't do anything that's interesting here. I'm not invested into this, and I get robbed every single time. Every single time I do anything, I just get robbed in the streets. It's like London right now. London the simulator. Lose your phone in 3 seconds, bro. That's my high score. And I mean, digging through trash. That is the Crip storyline for sure. Trash, I said. Digging through trash to get that fucking one Lego piece. And it's the storyline of brain dead Lego builds. But you're forced to dig, you know? You're forced to get that random. I'm looking for a specific item that would actually empower my build. There's no, like, build resets. Nothing to worry about. Again, half of the game could have been dedicated to temporary effects. Instead, you click a button, get a temporary effect, as if nothing happened. You didn't eat anything. You didn't hire a goon to help you with your battles. Nah, it's just click a button, get 800 shields. Congratulations, dude. You might win now. Because temporary effect's pretty cool. I mean, I see people press that out of desperation, out of hope that they will actually win the next game, because that's one of the ways to do it, right? Is get this good temporary effect. But 800 shield is not that much. I wonder if it scales to half of your health. I don't even think so. It's kind of crazy. Get the best item RNG game. Yep. I mean, it's basically a fucking slot machine. I like the wording there. I'll just reuse it. Or just call it the get the best item slot machine. There you go. If you don't get that good item, uh-oh. Or get the item you like, because some gamers actually try to have fun over here. Uh-oh. Yeah, if you played 300 hours of Bazaar, don't leave a comment. I don't want to fucking hear your opinion unless you're really genuinely upset about the game. If you have 300 hours locked in, shut the fuck up. You have sunk cost fallacy activated. You are stuck, my friends, in some kind of loop that who knows what's gonna happen to you. Because this game is just like genuinely a game from hell that I would never, ever recommend anyone play. You have to step aside from all the nice visuals and understand that fundamentally you're not getting anything out of it. The one redeeming quality is like math. Doing math, I guess, is kind of cool. And I could talk about the good side of the game, but I can't. This is too much to handle right now. Alright, I think we're done here. I'm just gonna double check. There's more content, guys. 3 classes? Do you want to rip content away from you so they can, like, give it back to you? But it's really bad. Like, the lack of content is, you have no idea how bad it is until you actually understand what could be added, of how many things you could come up with to add into Bazaar. You have no idea. Even the dummy. Oh my god, the dummy, bro. I'm gonna put it at S tier just to fucking trigger everyone. Where's the dummy? Dummy was my friend. I kicked dummy in the face. Yes, it's lag, but dude, dummy. I like dummy. Dummy gives me assessment of my power level. I kill 32k dummy, like, that's great. That's great, dude. Where's dummy, dude? You want problems? I literally had a thumbnail of dummy, like, we put it as, like, it's a graveyard moment. It's a funeral. Oh yeah, there's these, like, big multicast weapons sometimes. There's item destruction, I forgot to mention. Item destruction. Because that is absolutely fun. Oh boy. Isn't that fun? Why freeze items for our limited time only when you can just boom, shakalaka, you know, it's just gone. It's over, bro. It's over. Oh, I remember now. 10%. You know what this means? This 10% thing. Do you know? You must know. You must know what I'm talking about. 10% of an item's value translated into burn or poison. Because that's a good fucking number. Oh yeah. Balanced storyline, let's put it that way. 10% is insane. Alright, it's not only an item can have, what, 1,000 damage, but also 100 burn? 100 burn would last the rest of the game. 1,000 damage, you can just heal away from. 100 burn is a lot more than 1,000 damage. Yes, if you die, it's over. But, it gets ugly really fast, because the game does not just end, you take 1,000 damage, and then after 5 seconds you take another 1,000 damage. Doesn't matter what the cooldown of the item was anymore. That shit don't matter. You can have 30 seconds cooldown weapon. You get stabbed by 1,000 damage, and guess what you're gonna be doing? You're gonna be burning for the rest of the fucking game. And burning is such an interesting mechanic because it never goes away. There's nothing you can do. You cannot pour water on yourself, nothing. There's no temporary effect that would just, like, distinguish burn. It would be nice to even just do it mid-combat. Fuck it, you know? But why give interaction to a player? That would be too good. Too good to be true, you know? That would be unfair on the other player's end, you know? The other player also is watching and really care about your temporary effects moments. Uh-oh. It's weird. I don't want to talk about it because it's like such a twisted part of the game where, like, we're trying to make the game fair but single player at the same time. Like, what? Where's Dummy? Where's Combat Dummy, dude? It's literally buried alive. Here it is. Sparring partner. Oh, wow. He showed up on a thumbnail once. If only you could have done that again. I thought I put him twice, but it is what it is, guys. And 120k. You got a lot of views, so I did something right. Best part in the game, and it's gone. Just like that. Oh, like, patches, so good. Patches are so good. They definitely don't take away content away from you. Like skills and other things. It feels like skills have turned from something, like, somewhat reasonable into just, like, gimmick of plus 10 damage. And next to it, there's a bunch of skills that you cannot have. Because they're just weird. Or some double condition for 4% of critical damage, basically. One time. Like, I don't understand, dude. Critical damage is also bad. It's a bad idea. I know it's across multiple games, but it's just another slot machine moment that Kriparian talks about. And if Kriparian complains about something, God forbid you don't fucking care about that shit. Holy crap, man. I would be scared if you don't care about what Kriparian cares about. Because, like, you might not get fucked in the ass by Kriparian, but, like, Jesus Christ, are people gonna hate on you? Because you don't care, you know? Like, it's random. It's a random chance. Can be 10% chance of, like, Kriparian getting salty because bam slam, 1 crit damage changed the entire course of the game, which is actually unfair because you don't know if that person deserved to have crit damage or not. It's a weird thing, but again, asynchronous, you're single player, and you have to react to a random event happening mid-combat, which is like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is actually a random event. If you rerun the game, the combats another time, it might be different. There are other random events like which item is going to get slowed, which item is going to get hasted, which item is going to get destroyed. That's also, unfortunately, random, not prioritized. That was not invented in card games where priority happens, where you destroy a small weapon if one exists. If it doesn't, you just destroy a small item. I still have to talk about scaling items. This is the saving grace, and at the same time, it's poop. It's a poop joke. Most of the scaling items are bonkers. I'm gonna put scaling items in not problematic at all category, so... there's not much to talk about. For me, it's a saving grace, but I still see it as the lower tier problem that if there were massive nerfs, scaling items would still have to be touched. Self-looping, like loop searching, is absolutely crazy, dude. How much did I talk about loops? Because it requires its own, basically, understanding. Secret loops. In order to actually break the game, you have to learn all the secrets. This is technically like a high tier thing to do. And it doesn't happen very often. But because you're queuing up into not so fucking bronze players, it happens more often than you think. So, yeah, someone finds a secret loop, or just uses a charge item very fast. And then you get pummeled by all the damage again. Nonsense happens in the game. That's just not fun to look at, not fun to react to. What you have to do, as this video is coming to an end, is reassess, take a step back from this game. There's probably so many other experiences in life that you would be willing to experience. You know, first kiss, first hug, I would love to do that, you know, as a 30-year-old. But instead I'm trying to be good at complaining about a shitty fucking game so people stop playing. It's for your own good, you know, that this video exists. Maybe when we play like cute games that women appreciate, and not just women are depicted as horny characters, maybe we will get better lives. You don't know. You don't know, because women are not a part of this equation in the appropriate way. Maybe there's a chance that every decision matters, of how we treat women matters. And sometimes when we are playing these fucking weird games that suck in our time, and we get upset and annoyed by a critical hit hitting a wrong way, we get rejected by one woman at a time. Be careful, guys. Does Reynad really look like he's a champ, he's a pog champ, he actually has a wife or something going on in his life? Or is he gonna be rejected for a very long time despite being fucking rich and famous? Because he's an asshole right now. His reputation is being a fucking asshole. Like, you have to think in those terms just to make sure that you're interacting with the other rest of the half of the world, right? Double check that you have the experience, even if you're just a fucking gamer and the only thing you do is gaming, you still get to step back and try something else. This ain't it. This is eventually a bad experience that if you're a sweaty gamer and actually grinding the game, I don't want to listen to you. You have nothing good to say anymore. Just play your fucking game. You're actually not a part of this conversation. You're way ahead of anyone caring. Sometimes you're gonna make a good Lego build, show to us. It's fine, alright? Something works in the game, show it to us. This is actually kind of cool, right? Yes, it has a scaling item. Yes, it has a big item, but everything just kind of came together. I wanted to show like a cool Lego build. Okay, donezo. We done it. We did something. Everything else is just me complaining. So please, guys, take this in consideration anytime you're upset about Bazaar, maybe it's time to fucking quit and play my game. Because my game is gonna be good, but poor, because I will need investors and all that cool shit that Reynad has to become a homeless drug addict. I can't wait to become one of those. I actually don't think everyone is stupid for a change. I don't. I don't think I'm just sitting on like the best ideas ever of like, oh my god, asynchronous gameplay, that's the craziest good idea. And it apparently is the worst part of the game. Because he not only took the asynchronous part, but ripped away every single interaction imaginable. Of like, oh, I can't abuse the other player, even when they're not watching? What are you talking about, Reynad? I want to destroy their item before the combat even fucking started, bro. You know, I want to destroy Crow's Nest. I want to just shoot a fucking nuclear missile and destroy one of their stupidest items that they have. Like, please. For the love of God. Not being able to interact, like, eccentric, like, and he thought it was the greatest idea of all time. He just keeps having all these, like, wow, godlike ideas sitting on top of his throne and shitting in everyone's mouths. These great ideas of like, wow, that's crazy. But the reality is, unfortunately, that nobody probably likes a single one of his ideas at all. It will just take time to digest that statement. You know, maybe that's pretty bad when nobody fucking likes your ideas. I hate the loading screen. I hate all the disconnects that I had to suffer through. And this game is literally trying to come out with like 3 classes with lack of content. There's not much to like. The only thing he has is ideas that he likes, and I see it as average performance. So, goodbye. Goodbye, dudes. Oh, what a fucking brain wreck that is.